All right, everyone. Hello. This is Chris again with the Caffeinated Contractor. We're here again with our first repeat guest, Jodi Peterman. Hey, Jodi, how you doing today?
I'm doing awesome. Coffee, all the coffee.
That's right. I'm actually on my third cup, and it's here 7 a.m. So I got up a little early this morning. I got up at 4:30 so I can get a good workout in, but definitely need the caffeine.
I got up at 5 and I've been doing a lot of networking events, later in the evening because I'm an early bird. And I like to go to bed early, but I haven't been getting to bed until later. So getting up at 5 this morning was hard, but I need to work in. I'm trying to get up to work in a workout.
Yeah.
That's my goal.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah. I was struggling with that for a while. I finally got the habit in, and it's always tempting. Like, I got an early morning. Maybe I'll skip it, but no, I just know how I feel later on. So
I know.
But anyway, so great to have you back. We already had a great conversation just about life before we even started this, and it got me all fired up. So I really appreciate you and just the relationship we already have. You haven't even met in person, but we have a similar path and similar struggles in life. So it's very nice to chat with you about business and life and all that good stuff. So I appreciate you.
You got to have your partners like that, right? Like you just,
Absolutely.
Yep. And it's good to just get the truth and honesty out there so nobody thinks that there's these perfect businesses and everything's amazing, sparkles, stars, and unicorns.
Yeah. You're calling it the Facebook life or something like that.
Yeah, the Facebook life where it's all fake and it's not that way. Either that or it's all drama. I mean,
yeah. I know, it's one or the other, right?
Yeah, so we all just need to learn how to communicate a little bit more so it comes out a little bit more love and light rather than just throwing it out there and doing it in the moment of emotion.
Yeah, exactly. Well, great. So today we're going to be talking about different trends that we have going on. I noticed lately there's a lot of older, I don't want to say older. I mean, my house is built maybe 10 years ago or so. And all the stuff that we have in our house is considered outdated, right? So now we got darker cabinets, we got a tan wall, we got older tile, and I'm noticing a lot of people want to get that refresh. So we're going to talk a little bit about trends that has been popular in 2023. If we're going to see any changes in 2024, but before we get into all that stuff, I know you're a repeat guest, but in case this is the first episode, people are watching, do you want to just kind of tell us who you are and tell us a little bit about Elizabeth Aaron?
Sure. So Elizabeth Aaron Designs is the name of my company. I named it after my twin daughters, Hannah Elizabeth and Sydney Aaron, because I took over the company in New Jersey from a business partner. And funny enough, I was going to go J. Peterman Designs, and everybody I told that to just started laughing. And I'm like, what? Why are you laughing when I tell you the name of my business? That like really hurts my little heart.
And they're
like, yeah. Well, I'm not a Seinfeld fan, but a lot of people in New Jersey were, and they were like, Jay Peterman's Elaine's idiot boss, and he's just a goofball, and he just does all the mistakes. And I'm like, well, I definitely don't want to be known as that.
Yeah.
So I named the company after my twin daughters' middle names. And we were in New Jersey for like 7 years. And then when 9/11 happened, both my brothers were in the Army. And so we moved back to do family support, which was absolutely amazing. And the business was just fabulous. You want to know how it's going to move across country, and this because you moved yours across. It's very risky. I thought I was going to end up being a Walmart greeter. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I thought that's where it's going to end up, because I was like, women in Iowa don't hire designers. Women in Iowa have babies by the tree, and they still grind their own wheat to make bread. Not the way it was, but so it did really well and thrived. And then we had opportunity to move to Fort Walton Beach, Destin area in Florida last year when my daughter, who's in the Air Force, and her husband moved and got transferred to this area. So we moved down here because we found out we were going to be grandparents. So got to get all the baby snuggles in. So but we are a nationwide interior design firm. We work all over the United States. We have clients everywhere. We do residential and multifamily properties. And then now that we're in the area we were at in Florida, we're doing a lot of vacation rentals.
Oh, okay,
as
cool.
well.
Kind of like Airbnb type stuff?
Yes, because, when people go to Airbnbs, like in here, it's all the same: white walls, blue furniture, right? That's what everybody does, but it's about creating an experience. And when we start going over trends, because I've been doing extensive research and preparation and just getting ready for 2024 myself, there's lots of things going on in 2024 related to like what's going on in the economy and everything else that all plays a part into the trends that we're going to be seeing coming up and the reason why behind it.
Excellent. Well, cool. I think maybe we can do a future podcast just on like short-term rentals and the types of things that people should consider for that.
Yeah.
Because we work with a lot of investors and they're moving to not a different strategy, but just another strategy, and that is short-term rentals. And I know it's a little different because sometimes you have a house and you want to have each room as a different theme or whatever to make it fun for your guests.
Not a different theme, theme throughout. Okay, so we'll talk about this at the next one, but I went and toured one and it was like blasey blah on the main floor, and it had the kitchen and some bedrooms, whatever, and it was just very neutral. There was nothing really special about it. And then you go upstairs, and as I'm going upstairs, there's a cutout sticker on the wall of Yoda, and I'm like, why is there Yoda on the wall? And I turn the corner and it's decked out game room and like Star Wars everywhere. And I was like, that it's cool, but it's too much. You can't go, you have to like blend it. Like they don't need to bring Star Wars downstairs, but maybe could we do like some sort of a starry, sparkly, some sort of backsplash or an accent in the backsplash, just bringing some of it downstairs, right? To create that theme, or maybe in the kids' bedroom. But it was really cool. I was looking throughout the house and I opened up the door, and in the garage was this extra large golf cart, and it was called Star Shores. And I was like, this is the Star Shores house. How cool is that? Like, that's creating an experience for your client to come through, right? Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So that sounds like a pretty good podcast then. We'll have to do that next time. Let's just get into some different trends for kitchens and bathrooms. And one thing that you and I were talking about is that, because of the economy, not many people are moving or building a house, but they're focusing like, hey, maybe I'm just going to stay at my house now and I'll just do a remodel because I want a fresh new look in the house. For 2023, we're 10 months into it. What kind of different color schemes and design requests that are you getting in 2023?
I feel like people really are wanting a direction in 23. 23 seems like a little bit of a lost year. Like nobody's really getting on board. Everybody feels a little settled and uneasy, unsure of where things are going. Which is going to tie into, so this is kind of like a little lost year, kind of like people are just balancing, but we're getting out of the all white walls, which I have in my house, but that's okay. It's my house. We're getting out of those trends. We're going into very much softer whites and things like that. The gray is done. White overtook the gray. Gray is done. White's on its way out. People need softer and calm. And the way you get softer and calm is you bring the outdoors in. And there's a new trend going to be happening. We've already started implementing it in 2 projects we're working on. There's an investor group out of Brooklyn, New York. They buy multifamily properties, and we did one in Indiana, and we're working on one in Florida, and they want to go in a more Zen direction, putting a lot of thought into who their renters are and their well-being and their mental health. And they had the foresight to do it. So they really, I was like, I'm so excited you guys want to go in this direction. And it's really just very, very light furniture, light walls, warm wood tones, and then bringing in, accents. So for 2024, they're calling it Japandi. I hope Japandi. It's a new design style. So think of it as Japanese style. So, Japanese garden, very zen, right? Yeah. Okay. So all of that, like the richer, not red, but the richer, warmer tones. Okay. Think of that style. Then think of Scandinavian style, where it's very, very light woods, like IKEA. Right? Yeah. So Japan style and Scandinavia style got married and they had a baby, and now we have Japandi.
Interesting.
Yes, it's very warm white walls, very clean lines. So when the world gets chaotic and people get like a little on the stress side, right? You know, and they need more calm, and we're working from home a little bit more. They need a place to put the chaos. So there's a lot more. There's not a lot of open bookshelves in this plan. There's not a lot of floating shelves. It's very, like in the kitchen, they're taller, going all the way to the ceiling cabinets, flat fronts, no shaker style, no detail, even to the point where there's not a lot of cabinet hardware, because then you've got to clean around it, right? It's all about, Japandi is going to be about easy, clean, low maintenance products.
Okay.
So the cabinets are going to be ceiling to top, because you don't want to dust on top, right? So it makes sense to take it to the ceiling. No cabinet hardware mechanisms where you push and they pop open. So a little bit more on the technology side. A lot more lighting in kitchen design. Going to be under cabinet lighting. Actual, since we're not going to do open shelving, a little bit more on the maybe narrowing down some of the cabinets to put sconce lighting above, like on either side of the windows, or different types of lighting. So you've got your LED lighting, under cabinet lighting, even lighting around the island, like making the island almost like a piece of furniture. It's going to have a lot of texture to it. And islands are going oval shaped, like more rounded, softer, more calm, not square, and a lot of textured wood. It's going to be very, very cool. You can Google it now and see all the Japandi.
So you can Google Japandi. It's a term that's like going around right now. Okay.
Not hugely prevalent, but there are some articles that are talking about it.
Okay. So for the cabinets, are you talking like, are they like is it called the inline cabinets, or overlays that are just kind of like with no spacer in between? Or
no space, full overlay.
Okay, got it.
Overlay, flat panel, a lot of texture on the cabinets, either texture on the cabinet doors or visual texture. It could be 3D texture, or it could be visual texture, where it's just, like the melamine with the nicer stuff with the wood grain look to it, without being, depending.
Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah. That's a big change, because it
is.
There's still, we're in the middle of renovating a 42 unit complex, and we're renovating as tenants move out. And we've been, the design we're using is the same design we've been using for the last 2 years. And that's, agreeable gray wall, the gray flooring, white trim. So yeah, that's going away then. I guess that's good, because it gets boring, right? It's just copy and paste. There's no creativity in that.
There is no creativity. And then how do you get your apartment units to stand out against other apartment units? Agreeable gray is, I'm not a fan of it. It's very hard to match. Sometimes it goes pink depending upon the lighting. Like there's some Sharon Williams has done a really good job on coming out with some other colors, but it's like when one person mentions it, like one person, like, I don't know, Ty Pennington in the day, like, from AGT mentions one color that he likes, then it's like everybody's using it 20 years later. It's like there's so much more beyond that. It's because nobody wants to do the work. We get lazy, right? It's like, order it, go. Nobody's going to know. It works. We're filling up. But is that what we want to be as designers and contractors? Is that the type of lifestyle? We're changing so many people's lives by what we create, because it's not going to get done probably for another 10 to 15 years.
Yeah, exactly.
You've got to be like ahead, right?
Yeah, exactly. So when, let's just say, somebody wants to design their kitchen, or they want to do a kitchen remodel right now, and they're just, I'm not sure what to do, right? What are the first things they should do? What should they take into consideration here?
First, the first place I tell people to start is appliances. Are you keeping your appliances and we're working with those? Or are you getting new appliances? Okay. So, because that's so personal. Like I can say, go with a 36-inch refrigerator or go with a 42-inch refrigerator. But it's so personal. The refrigerators are like, it's like picking out a spouse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's so many features now. Like, what do you want it to have? Like, and then the more bells and whistles, the more, things just kind of fall apart. So some people want simple, some people want more. So, and then once you get the appliances picked out, the other thing with appliances is then when you start going into the design, you might want to think about appliance ready or panel ready appliances, because depending on how you do it, like if there's no room for a pantry and you want pantry style cabinets, it's nice to do pantry style cabinets on one end, and then depending upon the working triangle, maybe do a full, where the refrigerator is, make that so it kind of caps it in. And makes it easier to more thoughtful placement of like your backsplash and things like that, right? So you got it bookends, even though it meets in the corner, like it kind of caps it off. So, or pantries on both ends, something like that, if you want to put your refrigerator in the middle. So sometimes doing a panel style refrigerator is helpful. It is more on the budget. So if that's something that's really important to you to have, like a streamlined, seamless kitchen, then maybe you go with a little bit more expensive on the panel ready dishwasher, refrigerator, and spend a little less on a light fixture, or maybe you cut light fixtures out altogether over the island. Do you know what I mean? Like, but designing it ahead of time will allow you to do that. So start with appliances, because the cabinet person isn't going to be able to start designing the kitchen without it. And now our cabinet designer, they're busy because a lot of people are renovating because they're not able to find land to build on. That it's not an arm and a leg. It's better for them to renovate and pull some, equity out and get that done versus starting all over. And so they're like, you do the kitchen design layout, and then we'll go in and do the features. So they're having us work ahead of time to keep it going faster for the client and the project. It's very helpful, they say.
When for appliances, is there a preference, or is there a style? Because I know stainless has been popular for the last, I don't know how long.
Yeah.
Is it still stainless, or is it kind of changing a little bit?
I mean, we're doing one here in Sandestin where we're doing a white stove with like gold features, and then a shiny white hood with gold features, and then we're sprinkling gold throughout the kitchen. So white appliances are in, and it's going to be the standout feature because all the base cabinets are going to be like this moody blue. But then we did another kitchen where it's all black kitchen, and their stainless refrigerator was standing out. And I said, if you don't want to do panel ready because it's too expensive to do that, and it would add to the budget so much, why don't we just do a black refrigerator, black microwave, and black dishwasher, because those are all in the cabinets. And then when your stove, if you wanted to stand out, you can do that stainless steel, because there's mixing of metals is totally fine. It's just strategically mixing those metals, right?
I was just thinking for appliances, sometimes it's frustrating when we're doing a remodel, and they're keeping some appliances, and you have this really old, ugly white microwave, and then a nice stainless steel refrigerator. And I'm like, man, just making my before and after photos look really bad.
Well, that's why having it planned and designed out ahead of time, so the clients know where they're going to end up, might say, we can get you in a whole new package for $3,000. And they might say yes, because you can save here. It's not, you're not going to go over budget, because we're going to be able to get the nice new package in with X, Y, and Z.
Gotcha. All right. So appliances, and then after they kind of decide what they want to do, what would be next?
The next is to either work with a designer, a kitchen designer, or an actual designer to start working on the kitchen layout. Like our clients come to us and we do everything. So if you're doing it on your own, start with appliances, go with a kitchen designer, start picking out the cabinets that you want. They can do the specs, and then they'll do some renderings. Like not all kitchen designers have the ability to put in like the countertop and the black splash they want. They're not going to spend time on that because they're just getting paid to do the cabinets, right? So it depends on how, visual you want it, but they can do that and you can figure it out. And then once you get the cabinet placement figured out with your appliances and get that all down, then it's light fixtures, the sink. Like, do you want a double sink? You kind of have to do sinks with appliances because it depends if you want like one big single basin or if you want the farmhouse style. Like that cabinet for the farmhouse style sink is a lot more expensive than a regular sink with a drop in. So I would say appliances sink, or appliances cabinet, and then appliances sink, and then your cabinets. And then once you get the cabinets done, then it's like, do I want pendants over my island? Do I want 2 islands, which is another trend? 2 islands, like an island workstation with the sink in it, like to work on. And then you've got your other island in front that was seating in it. And that's your entertaining island, kids do homework island, grandma and grandkids making cookies island. That's that island. So those are some trends. And then once you get that figured out, lighting, then and lighting goes. Do you want under cabinet lighting? What type of backsplash do you want? Because if you do a like subway tiles, like so if you do a subway tile, are you doing it vertical or are you doing it horizontal? And if you're doing it horizontal, do we need to change all of your outlet plugs to go horizontal so it falls in line? So it doesn't look like a vertical outlet with a horizontal tile. Like that's a really quick, easy change when you're doing it. And then also what else needs to be cleaned up in that backsplash? We're not using phones that plug into the wall anymore.
Yeah, we've been taking a lot of those out.
Those go away. The hard wiring in of whatever, where you used to have the desks set up, like the kitchens with the desks, those going away and becoming pantries and different things like that. So
some of the things when I've been meeting a lot of people for kitchen remodels, and some of the things that people need to take into consideration on the contractor side, right? It's to watch and protect your budget.
Yes.
If you're wanting to move your sink from one end to the other, like let's say you want to move your sink from the wall to the island or whatever, or maybe even it's just your gas line, right? That's going to add a lot more to your budget because we're having to move pipes, we're having to chip into the ground, into the foundation, and we're going to have to connect that. So that's going to be pretty expensive to move that around. So one thing and what we tell them is like, hey, look, if you want to have really nice stuff and you have a budget, consider keeping your sink and your oven and all that stuff in the same area. That way we're not having to move pipes and chip into the foundation as much.
Right. That also comes into play where planning it out is good because sometimes it doesn't function the way it is. It's cheaper, but if you're spending all this money buying new cabinets and countertops and backsplash and all of that, you're just getting the same kitchen and you're not increasing the functionality of it, because how we function in a kitchen today versus 10, 15, 20 years ago is a lot different. And needs are different. And there's a lot different appliances out there. And if you are designing it up front and getting everything picked out up front and getting that final number before you even start, you can maybe get some of those things moved around. Maybe we just pick less expensive, whatever. That way, everything's set up. Like for instance, my daughter they're a military family and they are going to be going away and they want to remodel their home a little bit just to be able to make it more, we're going to remodel it to make it marketable so that they can rent it out, right? Long-term rental. Right now, they bought it. It was built in the 80s and it is like bad 80s hotel style. You walk into the baby's bedroom and his sink to the bathroom is in the bedroom on the carpet. And then you turn and it's a shared bathroom with mom and dad with their double vanity in their bedroom.
Wow.
I've never seen anything like it before. Florida is amazing, but I can tell you they have gotten my brain to think. Also in the pantry is the washer and dryer, right? So there's no pantry. In the kitchen, there's the washer and dryer. So we redesigned it to move the washer and dryer up into an extra closet. They have 3 closets upstairs. So I was like, we can move it and it backs to the plumbing to that baby's vanity, right? So stack up a washer and dryer in the hallway. Great. Moving laundry up. Perfect. Then what we're going to do is we reconfigured and we're able to get like another a closet and 2 smaller bathrooms so that everybody has their own. And my my daughter and son-in-law are like, oh, we don't want to go to the expense. I'm like, you don't even have to put tile, like go expensive. Just put fiberglass, get the foundation set up so that it's more marketable. And they still wouldn't get on board until I talked to a realtor and she's like, you're going to be able to increase your rent by X amount because as things get tighter, as the economy is the way it is, people aren't going to be able to afford. You're going to have to share housing. It's just the way the reality at this point. People are going to be housing together and you don't want to have a roommate and share a bathroom. Like this gives you each more, it's more marketable because now you're able to say you've got a 2-bedroom, 2.25 bathroom versus 2-bedroom, 1.25 bathroom. It's going to increase your property value so much more, which is getting them on board. I'm like, it doesn't have to be every fancy thing. So we go less expensive on the new flooring. We do some of the painting ourselves. Like there's ways to get around it so that you can get the functionality. If a space doesn't function, it doesn't matter how good the design is. Yeah.
Is there a different strategy for somebody who wants to renovate and they're going to stay? Versus somebody who's going to renovate or remodel and sell?
Sure. So if you're going to stay, you might want to put a little more personality into it, because this eclectic design is what's going on. So like warm white walls and this really cool, like crazy beautiful stone waterfall edge on the island. Like this really beautiful, like God's piece of artwork, right in your kitchen. It's the focal point. That you're putting a little more personality in if you're staying.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Or going with, not that it paint's easy, but like those are the wow factors that are coming in, like the hidden pantries behind the kitchen. Like you think it's a pantry door and you go in and it's a full pantry.
Yeah.
Like we just designed a kitchen and we bumped into the garage, a whole pantry, which is multifunctional, right? So it's a backroom pantry with maybe like the refrigerator and some extra stuff, so she can have all the clutter and chaos back there and cook, and then come out and have a nice clean kitchen and entertain. It also is going to have the laundry room back in there, and it's also going to have like a little workstation, like I call it the mom boss room, right? Where she can have all of her stuff that she needs. So that can have wow factor. Like those just used to be like, just do it as cheap as possible. But now we're going to be seeing, like with that Japandi style, like warmer tones, like not like muted jewel tones, I guess is what I'm saying. Even if it's just a pop of color on the ceiling or, a fun backsplash, but that's where people are putting personality. It's a safe way to do it. I always say, like, I don't know if you ever looked at your wife's handbags, but like if you have a white handbag and a black handbag and it looks real, it's nice, it's normal. You open it up, they tend to put like black and white stripes, for a liner on the inside, or like a hot pink liner on the inside, or a green or something fun. And it's like, wow, and that's what you get when you open the doors to some of these powder rooms and the pantries. That's what you're going to start seeing in 2024, this little wow pop that you would, something unexpected.
I've never looked in my wife's bags, but I'm going to, because I want to see that. That sounds interesting. I've got a scenario here. So I was meeting with a friend of mine. It was earlier this week. And he said, Chris, I'm going to be selling my house probably in about 5 years, but I want to remodel my kitchen. I want to remodel it and I want to enjoy it, but at the same time, I want to remodel it to attract future buyers. When should I do that? And I'm like, in 5 years. I'm like, now. I would do it now. Would you say now?
Now.
Really?
Now.
Okay.
Do you know why? Because, I did the exact same thing. And this is what I tell everybody, because we used to do staging. So we used to do a lot of consultations, help people prep their homes for sale. And after I would get done doing it, like I would go in and get to doing it, they would just be like, why didn't I do this sooner? And it got us a lot of business, because then we would start working on their house that they moved into, right?
Sure.
You do it now because that way you can enjoy it. It makes you really sad to see how beautiful your home comes out, and then you've got to move. You use products that are low maintenance, that are going to be not super expensive, but good enough to sell that you can touch up. Don't put junk in, right? And we're not putting lipstick on a pig. We're actually doing nice quality things, and it allows people to spend a little bit more, because I'm going to get 5 years use out of it. Not that I'm just going to throw something in that somebody else is going to have to tear down in 2 years.
Right.
I mean, do it with integrity, right? So if the homeowners feel like they're going to get some use out of it, they'll do it right.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
What about style, right? So the Japandi seems to be kind of like on the beginning stages of coming in.
Yeah.
What if in about 2 years, it's like, okay, well, that really didn't land. Now things are changing. I'm like, when do trends change? How often?
Well, I mean, this is a big shift we're going through as a collective as humanity. We're going into this shift where truth is coming out. We need peace and space. It has been crazy pants, right? So I'm Gen X. I'm assuming you're Gen X, right? Yeah. Okay. So we have parents that are aging that we're contending with. We've got kids on the other end that our parents like left us to do everything, right? I was left at home with 4 kids, helping my mom through college and, making sure everything got done, right? That was my life growing up. And then I'm now a grown up. So I was a grown up, practice grown up, and now grown up. And then I've got kids who I didn't want that to happen to. So you work and you work and you work, but you're there for them, but you work, and then they see you working so hard. And this whole generation, that generation is like, I don't want to work that hard, which is something to learn from them. I don't want to work that hard. I don't want to give up my piece. I don't want to be stressed out. I want to enjoy life. And that led my daughter, when she found out she was expecting, she's like, we're going to make it work on one income. Mm-hmm. We're going to make it work so I can stay home with this baby because, we found ourselves having this baby and I don't want somebody else to raise them. So we're shifting over into that peace mode.
Okay.
And so, and I don't think this is going to be leaving. I mean, if my clients had the forethought and investors to go with the Zen Japandi style before it even started trending for their wellness of their potential renters on a huge scale project, it's not going to go away. And there's little ways you can implement it too. You don't have to go full. Like you could do shaker style cabinets that are like in a nice wood tone and mix it with some creamy cabinets. Like there's ways to do it on a softer side that you're not going to be like, this is out 2 years. And we pride ourselves on doing timeless designs, like taking what we think is going to be trending for a longer time and bringing it in. Just like quartz, people started using quartz over granite, like in, like early 2000s. And that's not going away. Quartz is like one of the best, most indestructible countertops that you can have a dance party on and it's fine, you know? So that's not going away.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, all right, cool. So I'm going to have him watch this podcast and that way he can hear it directly from the designer.
Yeah. Get started on it early, get planning it out, get it in your budget, and work on it that way. I say in 5 years, if you're going to sell, do it. Now's the time to do it. Then it's not so much all at once, because a lot of times when we go through the process of getting everything designed before the contractor starts bidding it out, when the contractor bids it out, then it's like, okay, like this one client, we did a $500,000. It ended up being $500,000 because she didn't want to go with LVP for the floor. She wanted to do big 48 by 48 white glossy tiles. Yeah. Totally cool, but that's gonna the budget. Yeah. And so then everything else has to elevate, right? If you're doing that, you can't do a $2 light fixture. You have to pull it all through to make it look cohesive. Yeah. But part of the renovation was a mother-in-law suite that she was going to do. So I'm like, okay, so we don't do that. We can have conversations, right? So we got to the point, I'm like, you're going to be over budget. Yes, our budget was 350. We're at 500. Where do we go? Well, you can save 20,000 by not doing the mother-in-law suite right now. It's perfectly fine. It functions. It's a separate part of the house that can be done later, right? Sure. Mm-hmm. Okay. You want this big, huge Barbie doll closet, which is super cool with the glass cabinets to showcase your shoes and jewelry and all that, super fun. But what if we just get the function set and get the walls built so that it functions as a closet, but just put the white wire shelving for now? That'll save you $35,000, $40,000.
Yeah. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Then in your kitchen, we can fur out the wall a little bit. Instead of doing 15-inch custom cabinets deep, we can go 12 inches. It'll still fit your dinnerware and everything, glassware. But then that way you keep the same look, but you actually save $13,000 by doing that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So we can have those conversations to get it back into budget, which I think is really nice. That's planning it out. It's a lot of work up front, but it ends up everybody's happy at the end.
From a contractor's perspective, I like it when I go to someone's house and they know exactly what they want to do. When they're like, well, what do you think? I'm like, I don't know you. So, we could be completely different here. And I'm not a designer. I'm just like, you give me your vision, we'll put it together type person. And so
I think that's where it could be really beneficial for contractors to wink, wink, partner with a designer, so that if you have clients like that who need a little bit more visualization, because everything's so instantaneous now, which is why we need calm in our home. We're spending more time in our home. We need more calm there. And that's why we're going to start bringing all this Zen Japandi style in one way or another.
If somebody just, let's just say they're watching this and they have, an 80s style kitchen, like, I want to redo my kitchen, but I've only got $8,000. Mm-hmm. How much could they do with, a kitchen remodel is going to be, a good 20 or whatever, 30. Say they got $8,000. What kind of things should they consider to just like, what would be the priority?
Right. So I always say, look at the finish of the cabinets. If that's a problem, you can address it. Like in my daughter's home, where they decided they're going to sand and paint all the cabinets because the cabinets style, it's fine, but it's coming back into trend. So if they just painted it, it would be nice, but you got to paint it a very durable. And if you're going to paint it, you need to use a low nap, like a little small roller. You can't just take the biggest roller you can find and just do it quickly. Like there's an art to doing it so that it looks more factory finished professional. And then with painting, you have the opportunity to change the hinges. So what's dating their cabinets is the hinges are on the outside. We're going to change them to soft close and, flipping them on the inside. And then you can fill it with wood filler, sand and paint. Okay. So painting that's probably going to be a few $100s and a lot of time and sweat equity. And with that, then you could, they normally put either no cabinet hardware or the cabinet knobs, which are really inexpensive. And what's big is the bigger handles. So you can use the original hole from the knob. Okay. Get a bigger handle, just drill another hole and go with nice big hardware. So now you've got nice clean painted cabinets, hinges on the inside, and nice big hardware on it. Or you could just do all knobs again. Or, if it had a handle originally, you just fill it with wood filler, which is important to get that texture, sand and stain. It's less noticeable. Okay, so you can do that. Then with the countertops, there is a product, I've seen it at Home Depot and Lowe's. When I was in Iowa, I had a contractor who did it when we were working with investors flipping homes, and there was a lot of Formica countertops. He would come in and paint it. Like there's a special speckle paint, like it's like super smelly and horrific, but you can paint the Formica countertops and seal, and he repairs and fixes all of the things. And it's a really cool product. I don't know, I have to find his information again, but I mean, they have Formica countertops because I said, you don't want to put nice quartz countertops on top of cabinets that are so dated that are going to have to be ripped out. Like you're going to be causing yourself problems. So I would just have those painted. So that's less expensive than getting new countertops. Cause then you're talking about, all the things. So you keep the sink, you can do a new faucet, and then it goes up. So you have like that Formica has a backsplash, right? Like a 4-inch backsplash. So that gets painted. And then maybe if you want to add, if there's in the budget, maybe a little bit of a tile just to spark it up a little bit, or if not, pick a really good paint color. You can do a lot with paint in a kitchen. Yeah,
definitely. Color really does make a difference. And what about lighting?
Lighting is huge. Like kitchen, like in living rooms and everything else, a lot's been done with ambient lighting. So you've got like your lamps, you've got your recessed, but now like people are doing like tray ceilings and doing like the cove lighting, under cabinet lighting, sconces on the wall, recessed lighting, light fixtures. Like lighting is huge because light makes people happy, which is why a lot of people move to Florida. Hint, hint, you should come. Light and sunshine and just that natural. Nothing takes the place of like good natural
I totally
lighting.
agree with that. I just love light everywhere, especially if you can dim it, and just you have the option of making it however bright you want. But if I go, like my office is dark and I'm in my office right now, so I've got LED lights all over on me, and I like it because I feel like I'm alive, I'm awake,
Yes.
When it's dark, it's just kind of depressing.
I can't stand it. I have to have so much light, especially when we're picking out colors and fabrics. Like you need good lighting. I'm very, very particular about my light. I love light.
And especially in the kitchen.
Big windows. Well, the other thing too, did you know screens on windows block 20% of your natural light? Like people didn't believe me when I used to go tell them when I was doing the walkthrough before they were selling their home. I'm like, take all of your screens off and label them which window they go in. They block 20% of your natural light. And they're like, that won't even make a difference. I'm like, let's do these windows right here. And you tell me it doesn't make a difference. They took it off and they're like, I don't even want them back on. Like it just changed the mood so much.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you guys, when you help people like that, do you stage homes too, or
we used to have furniture, and then like 9/11 happened and people got weird about used furniture coming in and out of their home, even though we cleaned it, like we steam cleaned all the upholstery. It got cleaned by Zero Res, and I think it's a lot less now, but I just moving down here and just being nationwide on the design part of it, we just slowed down on the staging side of things. We still do consultations here or there when requested, but it's not really our main focus. But yeah,
I would imagine there's
I would go into people's homes and tell them what to move and where to move it to. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of logistics, and you got to store the furniture.
Storing of the furniture. And then we would buy, since we're an interior design firm, we have nice things, right? Like I would buy from our vendors. Like I had Bernhardt sofas and rose sectionals and, really nice heavy nightstands. Well, our movers would move stuff. And if they weren't careful, even though they're certified movers, things happen, right? Yeah. They would break a console, and it was like a $5,000 might cost console. And they're like, because you want to make people's homes unique. You don't want it to make it seem like every other home on the market, right? That was my whole thing. We're a Lux stager. And they're like, we can't keep moving the furniture because every time we have to reimburse you, we'd have to do 4 jobs to make up for the one piece we broke, and you don't want to keep turning it into insurance. So then it just got to be such a pain in storage. And then, I'm just like, I was like over it. That's not where I'm supposed to be anymore.
You talked me out of starting a staging company. So
did I?
Save me on that. No, I'm just joking. All right. So somebody wants to do a renovation, a remodel. They're kind of lost. Maybe they just want to do it, next year.
Yeah.
At which point do they reach out to you now? Okay.
Now, because it takes us, like the one client that I told you had the Barbie closet and the tile, like we started on her project in December of 22. And it's now going through, she had some extenuating circumstances with trying to get a hold of, it's hard to get a hold of contractors here in Florida, which is why I need you over here. But that's a whole nother podcast. But it took a while to get like the engineering part of it down. But it's been a year of working on the design because she wants it the way she wants it if she's investing that much money into it, which I'm totally cool with. Things don't happen overnight. It's not like it might take us 3 weeks to get everything picked out and selected to review the first design, but it all depends on how motivated the people are to get it done.
Yeah. Okay.
And then it takes time when you're doing it the way that we do it. The contractor doesn't just you don't just give allowances like $45,000 for cabinets and this for this. Like you're doing actual numbers based on an actual design. Like you're this many upper cabinets, this many lower cabinets. Here's the cabinet hardware count. So it takes more time to get the bids together. Yeah. And so it just takes time. It's a lot of time on the front end, but then the client knows what they're going to get at the end. They know how much money they have left for furniture. They know how much they have for window treatments and everything else that goes along with renovating. Yeah. So it's, I feel like it's a better process.
On the contractor side, we, I'm sure maybe there's somebody out there that like just knows everything and can go in and say, oh, it's going to cost this, it's going to cost this, but there's nobody. Yeah. So for us, I'll take measurements and I'll, take video and photos and stuff. And then what I'll do is I got to do homework, right? I have to call my countertop lady and say, hey, this is how much we're looking at. This is the type of countertop they want. Show samples. They choose a sample, and then I price it out from there. Like I got to make sure with the countertop company that they haven't changed their prices. The materials didn't change. Right. So it takes a little time, but to your point, when we provide our estimates, it's, this is how much it's going to cost, countertops, cabinets, paint, like there's no vague numbers in there. It's like, this is how much it's going to cost. But like you're saying earlier, if you open up a wall, you don't know what's going to happen. So sometimes, that's going to be a change order or whatever. But outside of that, the number that a contractor gives you for cabinets, countertops, things like that, that should be the number. And
it's not. It's not. They give general numbers, general allowance numbers. So then you say, okay, here's how much you have for all these things. Clients don't know how much stuff costs. You tell somebody they've got $20,000 for cabinets, they're like, great. This is what I want my kitchen to look like. Most contractors like, great. Yep, got $20,000 for this, blah, 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 blah. Send them out. I need you to go get your appliances and then go meet with the cabinet person. So they go pick out their appliances. Ooh, I really fell in love with this refrigerator. It's going to be like $4,000 more, but it's only $4,000. So it's fine. We'll make it up some other way. Then you go to the kitchen cabinet place and realize, wow, you don't get soft close, you don't get full extension glides, you don't get all the things that you thought you were going to get. So you get disappointed as a client, and then you got to upgrade that. So now you're another $2,000-$3,000 over budget. And then you go pick out this, and now you're like $10,000 to $12,000 over budget. And you're like, now I can't get the light fixtures I want. I have to go with less expensive this. I can't go with the 8-inch widespread faucets. I got to go with the center set, which means I can't change it out down the road because the hole's already drilled into the countertop. It just sets people up for disappointment because they don't know what they don't know what they don't know. They don't know how much things cost, and they don't know what options there are out there. There's the contractor, no offense, and then there's the client, but there's nobody advocating. It's like you just want to do your job and you need them to tell you, but they don't know, which is why we come in the middle and create all the documents that they need to know. It creates a communication basis that helps create a whole better process for everybody involved. I finally got my one contractor in Iowa. He's like, I'm so swamped right now. He's like, you go work with the design with Jodi. And then 6 months later, when we're ready, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And then he can be out getting more business, passing it off to me. And it's a better flow for everybody.
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah. And, for me, situations where just, and this doesn't happen to us now, maybe at the beginning where we're trying to figure things out, it's like, okay, we're not on the same page here. And, it's very stressful for everyone involved, even me. But as time goes on, we smoothed out our process. We need, like, a contractor should make sure that we're all on the same page. Like, that's your job, but you're wearing so many hats as a contractor. You're making sure the clients get their stuff done. It's done in time for your subcontractors to get in so it doesn't mess up your calendar. You've got to make sure X, Y, and Z, and that the pricing came in and the billing, and there's so many things that you have. So that's why people find it very helpful when they're communicating with their contractor to have all the documents, because everything's done and dated, and all the floor plans are done and all measured out. So the contractors just take the floor plan measurements, send it to the flooring company. Here's the flooring map and key. Send it there, bid it out. Okay, that's coming in over budget. We need to look for something a little less. Then we all start from scratch, but we meet with the thing. This is what we picked out. Do you have something less expensive? So, I love that. That is, if every project can go that way, life would be so much easier. For me.
It's literally just involving somebody. They don't realize how much time it takes to get something designed. Like, we're literally working on their project for 3 weeks, 8 hours a day straight. Like, we only take so many clients at a time. So if they how can you do a full-time job and take all that time off to get everything done and then have the skill set to do all that? It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is.
So it's easier, and it's easier for us to hand everything over to the contractor and say, put your eyes on it. You look at it. Did we miss something? Because we just did a walkthrough. We did plans for one client and we went back to their house and like, oh yeah, that soffit that we thought we could take down, it can't come down because of X, Y, and Z. We're gonna have to leave it there. So we need to put it back in the plan, so going through it that way.
Yeah, that's excellent. Wow. So, all right. What else is there anything that we did not touch on regarding upcoming?
A million things. If you want me to send you, oh my gosh, so many trends and stuff that are going on. So if you want me to send you over some stuff for some social media, or if you want to follow us, Elizabeth Aaron Designs on Instagram or whatever, we're going to be posting all of the things.
Excellent. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's do that. And then, maybe this is a longer conversation than just a 30-minute podcast, right?
Yeah, I could totally just talk to you just about bathroom trends and everything going on. And then that takes us to the whole other thing about aging in place. We talked about our being Gen X. We have parents that are aging. Like, people want to stay in their home as long as they can. And there's a whole conversation that needs to happen about how do we do that? What are some features as I am helping my mom do a remodel? What are some features that we can implement that are going to be safe for her? Things that we should be thinking about.
That's a good point. We've been actually pricing out jobs lately where they're wanting to take out a tub in the master bathroom specifically for that. Like, hey, we're about 50, 60. I mean, we're not that old yet, but eventually we will be. Or they have a family member moving in and they want to just take out the tub and make it more ADA compliant. So that totally makes sense. But I think maybe we should do another one. Part 3, bathroom design for 2024.
Yep. And we can do another one for kitchen, because I have kitchen and bath kind of like there's some overlap on things that are going on, but then there's also some things obviously specific. You don't have a shower in your kitchen. Like, there's just specific things. So we could do a whole nother just on trends. I mean, you could ask your listeners and see if that's something they're interested in hearing, like do a little poll and see, because I like talking about what other people want to talk about or want to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Well, sweet. I appreciate your time again today. And gosh, I think there's going to be a lot more episodes we're going to do together.
I would love it. Well, it'll just be the Chris and Jodi show.
There you go.
With coffee. With coffee.
With coffee, absolutely. You got to have the coffee. All right, Jodi, I appreciate it. And as always, it's great chatting with you. And I appreciate the pep talk this morning, too, because I needed it.
Good. I'm glad. Well, we found each other for a reason. Thanks, Joy.